disgustingly hot day. We have no beverages in the house. The only thing we have is cold milk, cold soy milk. So, alright, we're going to be talking about how to start dressing vintage, wearing vintage style. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory to explain how I decided to start wearing vintage style, and that was about 2 to 3 years ago. And I was watching all of these lovely period dramas, and they were actually Spanish. I was watching some called Grand Hotel or Gran Hotel. What's another one? Cable Girls. Cable Girls was another one, and that was set in the 1920s, and all of the ladies were so beautifully dressed. The period drama just like pulled me into the screen, and I was just infatuated with what they were wearing. I thought it was so cool, and I thought, like, why can't I wear that sort of thing today? Like, it's so nice. They look so beautiful. They look so well presented. They look so classic and timeless. And so I decided, I was like, you know what, I want to dress like they do. I guess I kind of just started looking at images and looking at videos on YouTube, and that really helped. And so I thought I would maybe help you guys out if you are thinking about making the switch from modern clothes to vintage, because I'm telling you, it was a game changer, changing the way I dressed and feeling really confident in what you wear, because it just feels really you. So it really helped putting an era to what I wanted to wear, because if you just think of vintage fashion as a whole, it can kind of be difficult when you go thrift shopping, when you're wanting to pick out an outfit and trying to choose different garments, because you don't really know what you're looking for specifically. So I would highly recommend going through Pinterest and looking at certain eras to find something that really clicks with you. Styles that you really like. If you like, you know, the squared off shoulders of the 40s, if you like the really full skirt of the 50s, the 30s with the really slim lines, nice little neckties and little berets and stuff like that. So yeah, it really just depends. To go through the different eras and kind of filter through what are your favorite things about each decade. And when you can get an understanding of what that decade is as a whole and what you like, then if you are wanting to pick and choose later, that works out a lot better, and you can kind of create an outfit, a harmonious outfit, when you understand the different decades. Because if you don't, and you just are kind of just getting random stuff because it looks like vintage or like retro, it can kind of be a bit modern retro, and it doesn't really work all the time. Like, you might put it on and be like, oh, this looks really weird, it looks kind of gross, like the colors aren't flowing, the cut doesn't match, or it makes me look weird. So yeah, understand your eras before going ahead and choosing outfits. And another tip, if you are buying true vintage, real pieces, that can get really expensive. So if that's something that you want to do, you are more than welcome to do that if you've got the money to. It is a good idea to go looking in op shops. We have op shops in Australia, but in America you guys have thrift shops. You're going to find some great pieces when you put in the time and effort to go through the racks and to filter through everything to find something that you like. Yeah, you can find some great pieces on Etsy, eBay, Depop, some smaller little apps that you can find different clothes that are vintage style or vintage. Yeah, so the key pieces that really helped me at the beginning when I was making this switch was pretty much, I decided I love this style, I want to dress vintage. So I had a look through the decades. I was like, I really like the 40s. The 40s are really nice, and I also like the 50s. So I decided to hone in on those two decades. So I decided to familiarize myself with the outfits that were popular during that time. And I can't recommend enough to do your research. Go ahead and read through some websites about fashion history, about the different eras that you like, and that really helps in understanding what was popular, what they wore, the undergarments they wore, etc, etc. And yeah, you just get a much better understanding when you do that fashion research, so you can understand what they wore and what to look for. The first pieces I got were skirts and blouses. So pretty much you can schmooze, you can pass off regular modern clothes for vintage pieces. So finding some nice pretty blouses with different collars or shoulders that are reminiscent of the decade that you are interested in. So if you find some nice pretty blouses and you find some nice skirts. Now, I mean, unless you are favoring the 60s, then mini skirts are great. But otherwise, you're gonna want a long skirt, and that's something that's not popular today, having a longer skirt. A lot of the skirts that I've found have been, you know, 3 to 4 sizes too big, and they've been styles that I really liked. And I've, you know, purchased them for only like a couple of dollars, and then I've just taken it in on the sides to fit me. So you can find some really beautiful pieces that maybe don't fit you, but you can just easily alter them so they do fit you. And a skirt and a blouse is always something you can't go wrong with. You know, it instantly looks really vintage when you have on a nice skirt. And also trousers, pants, whatever you want to call them, nice high-waisted trousers can really, you know, pull a look together again with a nice blouse. Shoes are a bit of a tricky one. The reproduction shoes out there, some of them can be over $300, and you know, not everyone has that in their budget to spend. And I did actually find a lovely pair of vintage Dunlops that I found on Depop, and they were $32, which was a steal. They're really nice and they're really comfy as well, and they're nice. They're just flats. Sandals, it's a really great shoe to have, is flats. So to have some little ballet flats, they are so easy to pass as vintage, especially, you know, kind of, you know, gives you that like Audrey Hepburn look, having a pair of flats, a nice skirt, and a collared blouse on. There are lots of reproduction brands that make vintage looking clothing today, and some of those brands are Collective, Lindy Bop. We have a brand here in Australia called Dangerfield, which stocks different labels, Revival, Princess Highway, which is an Australian brand, and a couple of other brands, and they are not meant to look, you know, straight from the 40s or the 50s or the 60s, but they mix modern style in with the vintage style. They have some really nice pieces. These overalls that I'm wearing today, I mean, yeah, they're just a modern overall, but you know, they can help an outfit come together as retro vintage style. Here's a list of some vintage reproduction brands today. Alright, we have our pretty outfit together, but something's missing. How about if we maybe add a little bit of red lipstick? Red lipstick really brings the look together, but that straight hair, there's something that needs to be done about it. There we go, a lovely vintage brush out. This is just the cherry on top for this vintage look. Another very important aspect to looking the part, you can obviously have your outfit together, your blouse, your skirt, your trousers, your shoes, but your makeup and hair also play a really big part in the whole look. You know, if you just have straight hair and I don't know, what makeup look, you know, I don't even know what people wear today for their makeup. I'm not up to date. I actually don't know. One of the biggest things that kind of, oh, it didn't freak me out, but it was a really big thing, was putting on red lipstick, especially because I didn't wear makeup before. So when I first put on a red lip, I was just like, I didn't even recognize myself, and it kind of scared me. I was like, whoa, red lips are so bright, like, can I do this? Can I wear red lipstick? But a really good tip to, you know, helping yourself get familiar and comfortable with vintage style is, you know, like occasionally putting on a red lip and, you know, see how you like it. I mean, the first time you might not like it, like me, but yeah, just, you know, every so often put it on and kind of familiarize yourself with it, and you'll feel comfortable. And then eventually, if you don't put on red lipstick, you feel like you're naked, because you always wear red lipstick, and it's a part of, you know, getting dressed every day, putting on your little vintage outfit and putting on your red lipstick. You know, as you familiarize yourself with dressing this way, you will then get familiar with curling your hair, whether that's pin curling it, or, you know, putting your hair in foam rollers or hot rollers or whatever way you like to curl your hair. And yeah, that is a really big part of dressing vintage. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said vintage or dressing vintage. It's too many. Yeah, so I'll be making some videos soon about how I curl my hair, and tips for you guys if you are, you know, starting out and you're not really sure how to go about curling your hair. I'll show you a few different methods so you can get get good so you can better your hair curling skills. And one of the top tips for vintage dressing is accessories. Accessories are a really big part. They really pull an outfit together. Otherwise, you know, it can kind of look a little boring, or I guess you could maybe look a little bit granny if that's not the look you're going for. I mean, we are dressing like grandmas, like our grandmas, but yeah, accessories are key. So stuff like little headscarves, earrings, hair flowers, you know, making your own little hair flowers. Finding a nice pair of gloves, a nice pair of little winter gloves. Gloves that can match your shoes if you have white or cream shoes, or brown gloves to match your brown shoes. Vintage style is really all about coordinating your accessories and everything matches. I had a thing about just matching everything, and that's what's so nice about the style is, you know, like today we don't really match colors anymore, and that's something that like I really struggle with now. Looking at some modern outfits, I'm like, why are you wearing that? The colors don't go. But you know, I shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't be judgy like that. You know, the older styles really put effort into, you know, making outfits match and really look nice, and I just really struggle seeing not matching colors now. I love the aesthetic of matching colors. Like, I don't know, people wear like 5 different colors and they don't even go, and I just anyway, hats. I actually only own 2 berets. My collection, I mean, this is not even a collection, these are from Target. I know some ladies have like a vast collection of vintage hats, but you know, you don't need to have all of that stuff to look a certain way. So I've got berets, that's all I've got, and I've got a ton of headscarves. I love headscarves. They can really pull an outfit together and make it look vintage. I just picked this up from a local op shop near me. This is just like a straight scarf, and it looks really lovely whenever you tie these headscarves around in a little knot at the side. You can cut your own out of fabric, really any color, you name it, and you can just pull a whole outfit together by wearing a certain colored scarf, whatever you can find when you go op shopping in modern stores. Yeah, headscarves really make a difference and make your outfit really cute. If you don't have any headscarves but you know you have ribbons, nice wide ribbon, they're really easy to get and maybe easier to find than a headscarf. These will instantly give you a bit of a vintage look if you tie it around your head, even if you have a little bow, the bow on top instead of underneath. Another little thing is turbans. They're really good to wear on, you know, like a day that you should have really washed your hair but you didn't. Just pulling all your hair back and kind of pinning it to your head or in a low bun at the back, and putting a little headscarf on and tying it at the top so it covers all of your hair. And turbans were really popular in the 40s. It gives a very vintage look if you have a little turban on with your red lipstick. Brooches, I don't actually own any brooches, but having a little brooch, you can pick those up in thrift shops. They have a little jewelry section, which is probably where like the grandmas like donate their jewelry that they don't want anymore. That's a great place to pick up little brooches, and you can put that on your sweater or your blouse. Just know that there's no rush. If you know that you want to dress vintage but you don't know where to start, just go out and, you know, little bit by little bit, you know, oh, that's a nice skirt, you know, I'll grab that, or that's a really nice blouse, and you know, don't rush it. Just get little pieces here and there, and you know, you'll gradually build your wardrobe. For me, you know, I just kept going to op shops and finding garments that I liked, and then when I had enough that I could, you know, wear like on a week-to-week basis, I then took everything that I no longer wore, so all of my modern stuff, and I donated it. So all I had in my wardrobe, you know, if this does help you, like taking out all your old modern stuff, when you have enough of your other skirts and your trousers and your blouses, just go ahead and like start wearing that. Yeah, if you just feel like you haven't fully switched over and you know that you want to, just get rid of your other stuff, donate it, and start wearing all your gorgeous little pieces that you've collected. Yeah, just take your time with it, and even if you just have a regular pair of jeans and you have a really pretty blouse that you picked up that, you know, looks really vintage, and yeah, just wear half and half if that's what you feel like doing for the beginning. Just honestly, whatever makes you happy. If you only like some vintage pieces, do that, do you. But if you are wanting to do the whole lot and dress completely in a vintage style, go ahead and do that. Yep, if this is something that you're thinking about transitioning to, a vintage wardrobe, I would love to help. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I think that's it. I hope I haven't missed anything. Thank you so much for watching, darlings, and I'll see you next Sunday. I cannot word this. Alright, well, where was I up to? So I'm saying a lot. They